Huzzah, my friends! I am Kenmeister LP, bringing you a new Let's Play, or challenge run. Ooh, what is this, you might ask? Um, this challenge run is of a game that I haven't played in years, known as Twilight Princess for the Nintendo GameCube. Admittingly, it's not one of my favorite games in the series, despite the fact that Zelda is my all-time favorite video game series. But to give me a reason to revisit this one, folks, I wanted to do a challenge run of sorts. And it's called a minimalist run. Basically, a minimalist run is where I go through the game getting the bare essentials I need, meaning stuff that I can technically get to make my quest easier, such as heart pieces, extra bottles, bugs. Ain't happening. So yeah, 3 heart pieces, not getting extra bottles, and on top of that, I'm implementing a glitch that makes this game even harder. So basically, I'm going about this game in the most masochistal way possible, and I hope you guys do look forward to that, because I am quite excited. Quite excited to possibly rip my hair out. If I do or not, I don't know. I'm not for sure how hard that kind of run is, because personally, I think Twilight Princess is one of the easiest Zelda games in the series, if not the easiest Zelda game in the series. And maybe this run might turn things upside down. I don't exactly know. I'm redoing a part right here, folks, because my original part 1 had this really obnoxious buzzing sound in the background that I couldn't edit out. So I'm just redoing the first part and then going about it anew from here on, because I want you guys to have spectacular quality, and I don't want you guys getting turned off by the Let's Play immediately just because there's an annoying buzzing noise in the background. It's the first part, folks. It's the one that everybody watches the most. I need to give it my 100%. I need to give it my all. So people really find interest in this Let's Play, and with the unique twists and turns I'm doing on this game, maybe I might spark some interest in some new fans and stuff, who knows. But if you watched my video prior to this, you might know that I'm not doing any voice acting. The reason? This game is long in its own right. It's not as long as, say, like Tales of Symphonia or Final Fantasy VII or any other JRPG on the market, but it is long enough for me. It's the longest game I've tackled so far on my channel. So to avoid having to redo parts or word tripping over everything, I'm basically just going to be giving my thoughts as to what people are saying. That's not to say I'm leaving voice acting out altogether. I might voice some paragraphs every now and then. And even in like shorter Let's Plays like Oracle of Ages or Mega Man, I'll still voice act those. But we're talking to our good friend Russell. Russell is a good friend of Link's, and since he's injured, I guess he's injured, I'm not for sure, we're delivering a special present to Hyrule Castle. And we live on the outskirts of Hyrule. We live in a farming village known as Ordon. It's very poor, very out there, very country-ish. And because of that, we haven't really seen much of the world ourselves. It's way down in the south, and I think the location fits it perfectly. This game definitely looks good in a lot of areas. I still think this game's graphics still hold pretty well to this day. I still love the water oh so much. Granted, it has aged in a few spots, like especially if you hold it side by side to an HD game. So essentially, like, it hasn't aged as well as, say, something like Wind Waker it has, for example, whereas the cell shade graphics in that one feel timeless to me. I don't know if that's nostalgia speaking or not, because Wind Waker is my favorite video game of all time. But, you know, I would go back and do Wind Waker now, but because Wind Waker HD came out, I'm kind of putting a big fat hold on that one until I can get an HD capture device and then begin anew with that one, because I want to give people a touch of recent nostalgia, depending on how you look at it, essentially. And it's a fantastic game, if I do say so myself. I'm not saying that this one isn't. This one's still pretty good in my book. It's not one of my favorites, I'll admit that, but there's a lot of Zelda games, so it's kind of hard to say, you know. And I'm not for sure if the graphics in this one are any different in the Wii version. I imagine it's not. But if so, I mean, this is basically pushing the GameCube to its limits. This is like a year before the GameCube was discontinued, essentially. And, well, it's, in my opinion, the last good GameCube game before everything else was just entirely mediocre. I don't know. I think Baten Kaido's Origins was really good too, and I think that came out in the same year. But that's the only game that comes to mind, really. And I named my horse Goober for a reason. I named my horse Goober because it traces back to a horse my grandparents owned so long ago, back when I was a wee little lad. And I'm pretty sure the horse is dead by now. I'm sorry if anybody got their hopes up. But I do have fond memories of going to that horse and feeding it every day with carrots and stuff. So, in a way, his spirit still lives on in this game. And if my siblings or family members are watching this, then you probably have some sort of clue as to what I'm talking about. I know I directed my cousin into subscribing to this channel. So if you're watching this, JT, then by all means, I hope you're not crying too much over it. Not crying over spilt milk. So many good memories to be had with that horse. But enough about Goober for now. I think where this game shines the strongest, alongside the water, is definitely, like, the lighting in this one. I love, like, the lighting in this game. Really Twilighty, real bright, real pretty, if I do say so myself. Granted, there are some flaws with this one that do instate as to why I don't prefer this one over certain other ones, but I'll get into that as we move along the playthrough. But we get Goober, or Epona, whichever. I think I'm going to be interchanging the two names a lot during the playthrough. And they definitely went out of their way and did a lot with the horse in this one. I really appreciate that. They did a lot more with Goober than they ever did in Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, and I like that. I like that a lot. No, computer, I don't want to restart. Shut your face. And I bet when it updates, I'm probably not going to notice any differences. About to shut off on me during the playthrough. I'm like, ain't having that. I'm not that young, but... Well, then again, I'm 20. He's probably 17. I still consider both of those ages young. Whatever! Yeah, I'd be worried too. Well, you know, those things are all uppity and agile and stuff. I don't think I could catch one either. Then again, I'm not a good runner, but, you know. And let's see how Russell over here is doing.
Hey!
Hey! Oh! That's nice. And, with that, we're off to finish off our day before having our day off tomorrow. and it shall be fun. It shall be glorious. I think out of all of the Zelda games, I think this is definitely my favorite place of origin where Link grew up in. I don't know, there's just something about the country farmer life style thing that I really like that definitely stands out to me more than just either being a blacksmith's son or being raised in a fishing village or something. It stands out. It's got a nice bit of cultural background and stuff, and I like it. I likes it a lot. Definitely has a good bit of atmosphere when it comes to exploring the village and living in the village and growing up in the village and such. So, yeah, it's the little things, you know. But anywho, before we finish off the day, let's do some goat herding. What you want to do is come behind them and press A to whoop them into their farmhouse. You don't want to do it too much, otherwise they're going to run you over and you'll need to backtrack over to your horse again because they knock you a good ways off. So watch out for that, folks. Watch out for that. And I'm sorry if I'm scrolling through the text too fast. I'm just a really fast reader. So, I'll do my best to try to keep it at a steady pace to where everybody can read it without pausing. But if I accidentally go out of hand with it, I'm sorry. That's just the way I read. I've always been a fast reader growing up, and I still am now. Then again, I think it's part of the fact that I've played this game a few times. I've only beaten it twice, to tell you the truth. But I think it's enough to, like, get the game in my head well enough. I mean, Zelda's my favorite series, you know? I mean, why wouldn't I memorize it? Sounds fine to me. Wait, I didn't say anything. Why are you going out of your way and doing this? Okay, then. But basically, if you want to jump over a fence, you want to press A to go faster with the horse. If you just run up to it simply, I don't think Epona, or Goober rather, will jump immediately over it. I guess it depends on the height of the fence, I guess, but you know. You know. But anywho, next time, my friends, we shall begin the day anew and see what we have to do on our day off. Maybe some fun, maybe some excitement, maybe we might get to check out that fishing rod Colin made for us. Who knows? So, see you guys then.